2025 has been a historically bad year when it comes to entertainment. I think it's probably been the worst this decade if I have to go ahead and rank them, because honestly, no movies so far have come out and really blown me away in regards to quality television shows. Like, I didn't watch Mobland. I hear good things about it, but yeah, maybe if I get around to that. But outside of that, like, everything else has kind of sucked or been, underwhelming at best. But in regards to gaming, every once in a while something comes out that's pretty big and pretty decent. Like, the PC port for Final Fantasy Rebirth came out in January, so, hey man, at least I gotta tip my cap to that. And then you had a couple of heavy hitters come along, and then Claire Obscure Expedition 33 comes out, and that might be the one piece of content that endures beyond this year. Something else that has succeeded in gaming is Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Now, I looked at the trailer, oh god, a couple months back when it came out, and honestly, like, I'm not a Souls-like guy, okay? I'm not even gonna pretend or even pay lip service to the genre. It's not something that resonates with me at all whatsoever. I don't like the gameplay. Realistically, not too dissimilar to a lot of those NES, SNES type games where you just side scroll through a level and then you get to the boss at the end. It's like, okay, cool, I've been playing this stuff all my life. I just don't really need to have an aesthetic that never really has appealed to me at all. Just dragged out over 20 or 30 hours. I'm good. I respect them, and I respect the people that get really good at those games, because there's a bunch of stuff that I see that is awfully impressive. It's not something that I'm willing to dedicate any type of time for, and how those Souls-like mechanics have just infested and infiltrated the rest of the genre. I kind of hold a healthy disdain for the genre in general, but I'm fine with it. I'm not like one of these, sissy activist companies that are out there trying to petition Visa and petition Microsoft via Visa and MasterCard to deplatform these games. Go ahead and play them. I'm just not going to partake. But Wuchang looked pretty good. Okay, it looked pretty decent in the grand scheme of things. And honestly, I watched a little bit of gameplay of it. Was as it was playing early on Thursday when the game first dropped. And honestly, like, it's a pretty game. It looks very good, but it also looks very Souls-like-y. It looks exactly like a game that I wouldn't enjoy, but honestly, as you can see from the headline, Fallen Feathers soars on Steam. But yes, overwhelmingly negative reviews, and a lot of the reviews end up coming due to the fact that it's another one of those games that apparently is not at all that well optimized. But it's interesting, right? Because there's a couple of other games, and especially some ones that really don't look like they need that level of hardware, but you take a look at the minimum and recommended specs, like, it's only calling for a 1060, an ancient gaming card, and you can put it on, an old disk drive hard drive, and even its recommended specs is a 2070. It's like, yeah, it's not really calling for super high-powered hardware. So where's all these stuttering issues and frame drop issues coming from? Okay, another unstable UE5 title. Oh right, it's because, yeah, as ubiquitous as the Unreal Engine has become in game development, like, literally everybody's using it because everybody's trained on it. They still can't figure out how to use it. So funny, right? Because UE4 as a platform has been around for a very long time. And even still, and for a lot of people, speaking again of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the remake, it had PC port problems when it first came out, but those were solved very, very, very shortly. And then Rebirth, people also had problems, but I personally, even on my older hardware, didn't have any problems with that, but I won't hold that against anybody if they did get those issues. But yeah, that's what we're seeing here, and especially with UE5 titles, because I think the only one that has actually performed decently is Tekken 8, and outside of that, yes, so many UE5 problems. It's kind of wild for something that is going to become the standard in AAA gaming, but Wuchang very much, it's got AAA money and AAA backing, but it isn't a AAA. Does that make sense? Well, we'll get into it, obviously. But yeah, I wanted to give this game a good chance, was excited for this title and a mostly negative rating, and checked out the concerns. The game has some massive performance issues. Yeah, I tried playing, but yeah, so was enjoying it and having fun, but the performance issues are a big issue for that. Extremely awful performance. Okay, so yeah, the moment that they fix that is the moment that, Souls-like fans are going to enjoy it, because here's the thing. Here's a reason why, as the headline from Insider Gaming points out, yeah, it's soaring. Absolutely soaring, and because, well, Canadian dollars, because we get fucked up the ass when it comes to, any sort of purchases at this point in time. But yeah, it's a $50 game. It's a $50 game that, once again, is doing gangbusters. Now, this is, of course, Thursday evening that I'm recording this, so yeah, you guys won't see this till Saturday. So obviously, I'm thinking that this is going to get 150,000. It could be even higher than that over its launch weekend. And yeah, if you can get it to run nicely and you're a fan of Souls-like games, yeah, it looks like it's a pretty damn good experience. And given the fact that it's also on PS5, Xbox Series, whatever the hell you want to play it on, and then also on Game Pass. It's so funny, right? Because you have 131,000, okay, at least on launch day, 131,000 concurrent players, but it's also out on Game Pass. Remember, okay, Expedition 33 was also on Game Pass, and so was Doom: The Dark Ages, and, well, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things crossed into 6 digits. Well, 2 of them did. One of them didn't, but hey, what do I know? It's almost like people are willing to take a flyer on a game if it looks good and it's reasonably priced, as opposed to just simply adhering to franchise slop, and nobody has to cope about the sales of this product or any product in general, because maybe gamers are speaking with their wallets. And given we just learned, and I might do a video on this next week or at least in the near future, but we got the sales data for the first month for the Switch too, and let's just say people aren't quite that excited for a new console that has very expensive games, but we'll talk about that in the near future, okay? But let's just go back to this, okay? Fallen Feathers released today, and the game has already skyrocketed, Steam hitting 131,000 peak users within a couple of hours. However, the good news regarding the growth has been marred by overwhelmingly negative rating responses by 7,300 bad reviews on Steam. Damn. At the time of publishing, the split was jarring for Wuchang, which has just 16.3% on all reviews, yes, showing some kind of positivity. Yeah, that's pretty trash, because just simply going back to SteamDB, I'll just go ahead and refresh on that one. And hey, it's even seeing an uptick at this point in time. But yeah, 27% with 31,000 views. That's not great. Or I'm sorry, reviews? That's not great. That's really not great. The 7,300 negative reviews for Wuchang Fallen Feathers are mostly bagging the game's performance and stability. Many comments claim that the Unreal Engine is causing immense issues in merely exploring the world and fighting run-of-the-mill enemies. Like I said, I watched about an hour and change of Az's gameplay, and yeah, he didn't have any performance issues, at least from what I've seen. Okay, at least from what I've seen, and the game does look very good. It's a very pretty game once it does get running, but yeah, the things that I were noticing was there were some physics issues, like some of the hair movement and some of the additional cloth movements were a little bit too fast for the game that was actually playing. So like your main character, like she was running at a certain rate, but some of the additional flowing details for her costume they're just kind of spurging out. So that's something that I noticed, and some of the voice acting is inconsistent. Not going to say that it's bad, but you kind of had this kid that sounded like they had a Scottish accent. And this was supposed to be a Chinese game, huh? Interesting. So even the positive reviews appear to be tongue-in-cheek, with players praising Wuchang's appearance or some of her more revealing outfits, and awarding the game a higher score as a result. Because yeah, this is where once again the battle is being fought. Because in so much as I was intrigued by this game because I was actually seeing gameplay, as opposed to hey buy Stellar Blade because Eve is hot, a tactic that obviously worked, because Stellar Blade jumped 180 places from 185 to a number 5 in US sales chart for June after its PC release. Kind of shows you just how hamstrung a game is when it just launches exclusively on the PS5. For all of those idiots that think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth bombed. But I digress. Yeah, the number 2 selling game on PC in the US for June. Number 1 is Elden Ring Night Rain, and that might be the comparison point that we use for the Switch video that comes out. I'm not promising anything, it's just an idea that I have cooking in the background. But yeah, we talked about Stellar Blade and its PC base, and not that long ago, I think that was last week, I'm pretty sure it was last week, but yeah, 85% of players have evaporated into the ether, and well, we'll see if that ends up being the fate of Wuchang, because I've seen a lot of people saying, okay, especially with 131,000 people on launch, it's the biggest launch for a non-Souls-like game. Well, I think you're going to have to caveat that with 2025, because last year when Black Myth Wukong came out, yeah, it had over 2.1 million concurrent players, so yeah, you're just going to have to walk that back. It's wildly impressive, and I really hope that the performance issues get ironed out for the people that are looking forward to this game, because honestly, I think there's a good game underneath of that, and that's coming from somebody who does not like Souls-like, and especially conversation around this game, well, it's at least a little bit more tolerable, but the stuff that is, of course, getting all the attention is, of course, well, it's doing some traditional it's doing some traditional game stuff, and it's, well, allowing you to unlock additional costumes. And you know what, to be completely honest, they're a lot more inventive, and as somebody who really, especially over the past couple of games that I've been playing, has really come to appreciate good art direction and character design, it's like you can actually see a multitude of different looks that you can give your protagonist. Unfortunately, I don't remember, don't know her name, but yeah, man, like it's more than just, hey, look, it's green bikini, gold bikini, white bikini, or anything like that. There's different looks that you can give this chick, and honestly, some of them are pretty cool, if we're going to be completely honest. More traditional armor, obviously, or then of course you have the more scantily clad fare, and that's totally fine, and that's great, man. You want to go ahead and play your Souls-like that, that's totally fine. I don't mind this at all whatsoever. But again, far be it from me to be the arbiter of what is and isn't Gunnar approved, because that right there, that ends up being the domain of Xbox era that thinks that this is, you know, just about a perfect game, apparently, right? Gorgeous visuals, fantastic soundtrack and voiceovers. I kind of, especially from what I've heard, I kind of disagree. Finely tuned combat, full of options, an intriguing story that earns its endings. Okay, and of course, it's Gunnar approved. But then again, that's also a negative, so that's interesting. But it's so funny, right? For all of these reviews, and we got a couple of other ones to take a look at. You guys didn't have any, well, of course, you played it on console, so of course you're not going to have those performance issues, but you didn't want to do your due diligence over there. But that's fine. Okay, you're an Xbox, you're an Xbox-centric outlet. So, okay, that's fine, but that's what you want to focus on. Gunnar approved, huh? That's interesting. But what about The Gamer? An uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women. Oh, so that's where we're at. Okay, pros. The impetus repository is clever and offers endless experimentation, a handful of excellent boss fights, and some impressive level design. Yeah, the early game just kind of looked like corridors, but then again, of course, you know, from what I've seen, it's like, yeah, that's also like introductory level, so I'm not gonna, again, hold it against the game. Okay, 4 more boss fights that are either too easy or brutally unfair. So yeah, spoken like that kind of sounds like a skill issue. Okay, confusing semi-open world is segments that are difficult to navigate. Again, somebody who probably really needs all of that yellow paint or a mini map in order to just blitz from point to point. It's so funny, right? Because after I wrapped up with stupid Final Fantasy 16, I tried to give, and I still am giving, Final Fantasy 12 another go, and it's interesting, right? Because even just the first couple of minutes of that game, it's like, wow, I forgot. It's like 16 really is just dollar store 12 with a lot of its setups and a lot of its concepts. But I was just shocked how much I remember from the game, because it's been over a decade since I played it back to completion the first time. But just how I'm hit in the face with just a coherent, straightforward story, one that 16 could have done. Like, if you're just going to rip off all the concepts there, at least you could have, you know, done something smart there. But actually getting like good characters and some subtlety in your storytelling, just how lost that is. But yeah, just because, okay, this was the problem I had, and I remember, okay, on launch for that game, when it first came out on the PS2 all the way back in the day, just how easy it is to get lost, because sometimes on your map it'll mark where you need to go, but other times it'll just kind of, you know, hey man, just go wherever the cutscene told you to go. And if you forgot, if it was a couple of days between gaming sessions, you might have forgot where you needed to go. But just how it doesn't directly hold your hand, but just also to get hit in the face with just, it's like, oh my god, a Final Fantasy game with good music. Oh, it's been a few weeks since I've been able to experience that, and oh my god, real art design. Oh my god, it's been so long. But enough Final Fantasy 16 hate, because we need to talk about The Gamer and their review of Wuchang Fallen Feathers and how it's an uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women. I mean, for the little bit that I've seen, and especially with the actual gameplay that's being shared out there, uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women. Yeah, I mean, main protagonist looks fairly goddamn competent, and you guys are also the same outlets that were saying that Black Myth Wukong was also unfavorable to women, but in actuality, they just weren't beached sea creatures, so it's not something that you could resonate with. But here's probably the worst review from PC Gamer, 49. And this was an outlet that gave Dragon Age the Veilguard 79. Okay, cool. A lot of the gear you wear barely covers her up. Oh, okay, cool. So we're not talking about mechanics. Maybe this is just, it's just a certain subsect, right? And it looks like it came from a premium cosmetic shop, which it will have on launch. It wasn't available in my pre-release copy. The game is so unserious about this that the best armor for resisting a lethal status affliction has me running around my underwear. Yeah, I don't believe you. Okay. It's hard to feel the gravity of the situation as I wade through the pools of blood and listen to the cries of people who have lost their friends and family to a horrifying disease when I'm playing as a character designed to be eye candy, right? And yet you have your character in the header of your review wearing the fur of a dead monkey. It's like, okay, cool. So yeah, Wuchang is going to have a good weekend. Obviously, it's off to a great start. Hopefully they can iron out the performance issues, because that's what actually seems to be bogging down this game, as opposed to just out-of-touch games journalists who are just once again banging the drum of misogyny. Go take that drumstick and shove it up your ass. It might actually get you more pleasure than failing in another Souls-like game. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Conspello. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.